Do you see a slide presentation right now?
Yes.
I prefer to have the slide presentation like this so I can see what's next. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, okay. So basically this phase is to collect some testimonials from you guys that we can share with people, and I'll bring up that slide, and then to share with you what are the next steps and options. So I just wanted to really thank Kimberly for her testimonial, which she sent by email, and I just put it onto our astroinsights.ca education LinkedIn and shared it because it was really kind of her to send that, and now we have like a paper thing. But Kim, it's up to you if you also want to do a video testimonial, or if the written is enough. We're very grateful for the written. And if there's others who are like, I'd rather not be videoed, I want to write something, that we respect that as well. So this is completely by choice. Is everybody okay if we proceed with this video testimonial now? Okay, so you don't have to share very much at all. It's as much as you want to share. So these are some things you may share, like your name, your line of work, how you plan to use astrology, what you gained from participating in our education in level 1 and 2, how we were as teachers and guides and supports for your learning, who you think the ideal student is, because we understand that not everybody is our student. There are certain students that are made for this kind of education, and any additional thoughts you'd like to add. So does that sound okay if we go through that? Does anybody really want to go first?
I can go first, doesn't matter.
Was that Kimberly?
Yeah.
Okay, so how am I gonna get you Kelly, can you help me with this? I'd like to get Kimberly's face bigger, but let the slide still show. So
you put her on speaker view.
Okay. And that's by clicking on her? No, it's up here.
It's up in the top right corner where it'll say view. And you can go side by side or gallery or speaker. If you put the speaker, only the person who's talking camera is going to show up and everyone else disappears and your slides will still be there.
So I don't see view up here. On the control panel, I have more, and then.
Are you in full screen mode right now?
I'm in share screen, yeah. Full screen, share screen.
Hover as well.
What did you say, Marina?
If you hover at the top, it'll appear. It doesn't show automatically.
Yeah, I have that. So I have the toolbar. And what am I looking for?
The top right corner, it says just view with a little box.
We're all learning here. Otherwise, it's not the end of the world. We hear your voice, and I'll make sure you're on the screen, but oh, maybe it's here. ... The spotlight for everyone. Hide self. No, I don't think that's it. Is it okay if I just do it?
If you click on that grid, then it'll switch to speaker view.
Ah, nice. Okay, so I have now a chair, and now I have a person, and let me see if I can make them bigger. Oh, yay. Thank you so much, Marina. Okay, so you guys see Marina right now and the slides, or you see me because I'm talking?
I see 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the view on this end is what's going to be recorded, I'm guessing? Anyways, we'll go with it. Okay, Kimberly, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kimberly, and when I began level 1 and 2, I had very minimal knowledge of astrology and had never done online learning before. So it was a challenge from many different angles, but I had an inner calling that this had to be done. This had to be done now. I didn't know why, but it had to be done, and that was it. So I went through a lot of different struggles with myself and communicating on a computer when I hadn't done that before. Did a lot of following with the teachings that were the sessions that came by, although I wasn't totally computing what I was actually learning, but it was in my head. It wasn't until, so we're in the second session now. It wasn't until last week, 3 or 4 days ago that I came to the realization that I am right now exactly where I need to be, which is really a relaxing thought. And I was able to put all the pieces together that were in my head like a puzzle. It wasn't just the outside framework of the puzzle. I was now able to fill it in. And I'm a visual learner and I'm extremely artistic. So I need the whole picture to be able to do what I'm doing. Alana and Stan were amazing as far as teaching and patience with me because I have a different learning style, and basically walked me right through everything all again so that I had it in my head. So 5 or 6 years ago, I started closing a lot of doors. I didn't know why, but they were healthy doors to close. I was going to close them to let the new come in. And it was maybe 3 months before I got wind of these sessions that I was almost finished closing all my doors. It took that long. It wasn't until 3 or 4 days ago I closed the last door. So if this whole session could have waited 6 months, I would have been bang right on right here. But I did absorb everything, and I know I'm on a clear path now. It's just clear. I went through, it was almost like dying. You go through absolutely every flash of the bad you did, the good you did, what you should have did, what you shouldn't have done. And it was just, I've had 4 hours night's sleep for the last week and a half because my brain has been so active. And I slept for 30 hours last weekend over the course of 2 days. So I know my body was purging a bunch of stuff. I know that now, but I didn't understand what I was going through. This class has set me on my future vision. There's a clear path, there's sun and there's green grass everywhere. Especially with COVID in the picture these days. I was kind of dangling around on strings. What should I do? Where should I be? I would highly recommend these sessions, and I would definitely take another class with these two people. They are like a dynamic duo when they get together. They put their brains together, and it was very easy to follow. So I hope everybody gives it a shot. If you feel it and you're ready to do it, do it.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Yep.
I'm so glad that it's supported you to have this big shift, and we look forward to continue seeing how you blossom and learning with us. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
You've come so far. And we have learned from you too. So
Oh, I know you had to. Yeah. Thanks.
So who'd like to go next?
I can go again.
That's awesome, Kim. Allie or Kelly or Marina or Stephanie. Stephanie, is now a good time for your camera?
I will try. Hold on. I have 19%. I don't see myself though, but that's okay.
We see you.
For me, I'm going to start by saying I'm very grateful for this course. I think when you are looking at yourself as a whole person and
Volume up.
Oh, can you hear me?
I've turned it up.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. No problem.
Kimberly.
I'll go. So for me, when you sort of come and you grow as a person, really finding who you are and how your journey has either affected you. I won't say ever bad or good. I believe it's all wonderful learning and partly figuring out who you are. So the more I dug into sort of my charts, when I think we think of our charts, we think, okay, well, I'm a Cancer, or some people start knowing about their ascendants or their descendants. I think that delving right into, especially when it came to the Saturn, and if I wouldn't have pushed myself to do the second level, I wouldn't have understood how much the beginning of my life would have ingrained sort of my journey and all of the wonderful lessons that I've learned. Whether someone would think that it is a bad lesson and how did you survive those lessons, I'm very grateful to understand that it's partially what I was meant to do and what I was meant to learn and how I was meant to evolve in this life. So for me, I'm very grateful to be able to look at those patterns, to see how they progressed and how they influenced me on my journey. So I'm very thankful for Stan and Alana to have it so wonderfully laid out. I could say that I love your slideshows. I loved copying them down. I liked printing them off. I really liked looking at the homework on a paper level because that's sort of how I learned. So I loved it, but I also loved just listening to it in the background so that you could really connect with it. So I'm very appreciative. So thank you very much to Stan and Alana and everyone who's been part of the class. So thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And yeah, Stan, this is pretty new for him to be doing it online. It was a big effort for him to transfer this online, but I agree with you. The slides have been fabulous. The handouts have been fabulous. So thank you, Stan, for that. Okay, so who would like to go next? Ali, I see you there. Just 1 second. Let me make you the person here. Actually, I think if you speak, you become the person.
Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes, Ali.
Okay, beautiful. So, I mean, for me, this astrology is just has been truly a new language for me. Like, it's been fascinating to explore it. I have immensely enjoyed it. I very much love detail, and so I can get overwhelmed by it. So I just pace myself because there's been so much depth with the slides, with the Zoom training. And for me, as I dig deeper, I just uncover so much more. So for me, what I've gained is just greater self-knowledge of myself. And I'm so grateful to both of you. I think you both co-facilitate so well with the learning. It's been a truly for me, and I definitely want to retake levels because I feel that it'll just me allow a different level of learning. So I think everyone is an ideal student for this training, and having the different like I have other modalities, and what's been fascinating with astrology is seeing how astrology connects to those other modalities that I've trained in. So it's just fascinating. Like, I'm so fascinated by astrology, so many levels. Just not only, like, for me, what's been fascinating is, okay, so you read about the planet, you read about, your sun signs, but then it's all how you perceive it too, right? So it's like putting the two together. It's like there's the teaching and the learning and the training, but then how do I look at all of that information? And that in itself is fascinating. So it's very, I don't know, it's like I plan definitely to continue to delve into the world of astrology. And I'm grateful for the learning from both of you as teachers, and then just from the energy of everyone in the class. Maybe what I'd like to see more is like I've enjoyed the homework. It's been so thorough. I've applied it and used, you know, and done the homework. But maybe seeing more examples of like our own charts and exploring them a little more would be something that I would like to add to the training, for consideration.
That is so beautiful, Ali. Thank you so much. And I'm going to touch on a couple things that you said. First of all, about the more examples, that's something Stan has been trying to put in. So that is going to be definitely part of level 3. There was just so much information to share with you. And so I'm so, I don't know what the right word is, but happy that you guys sat through level 1 and 2, which was very rich and a lot of information. And then now let's start to really look at those examples and let's start to talk and let's start to heal. And so that's what level 3 is going to be a lot more about, like, and you'll see when we get to it. So I want to touch on that. I love what you said about, you know, you can learn it, but then you get your unique view. And that's what we're trying to inspire in everybody, is stop reading those co-star, whatever patterns, sanctuary garbage that's really trying to pull you in and get your money, and start learning the basis of astrology, because the basis of astrology truly, truly, truly is the basis of a lot of things, like the cycles, multiple cycles coming together. Like if you learn that, you can apply that to a lot of things in life, not just astrology. But if you just read the surface, oh my God, today I'm going to get a present. Oh, it's like, you know, it just, my closest example to that is I have some family members that love to rev up my kids. Like, oh my God, you're going to get a prize. And I'm like, please stop doing that. Come over, give them something, don't give them something, but don't rev up their physiology for nothing, right? It's just, it's so unhealthy. So that's one thing I want to touch on. The other thing, Ali and I spoke, on our own about something. And I want to share this because she said, sometimes you need to know what the role of the other is when there's a main teacher and then there's another. And I want, you know, new students to know this. So what my role is, other than, you know, coordinating everything and bringing people in. And I'm a friend in the classroom. Like, we are chatting back and forth on the chat. You guys have questions, I answer the ones I can, or I raise a hand and I say, Stan, there's a question here. So I'm kind of like, I've been training with Stan for maybe 4 years, but I'm learning. So I'm a student of his, I'm a co-facilitator, and I'm your friend. And so just in case, you know, someone's like, I don't understand her role, that's what it is. So thank you, Ali, for bringing that to my attention, that sometimes people ask that question. And then who's next?
Could I possibly
Yes.
do this with you at another time? Just
Yeah.
because I've got so many things I want to say and I don't want it to sound like a bleh.
No, I'd love that. Thank you. And we honor that. That's one thing about when you understand unique psychology, which is what astrology is, you have to honor how people are, how they function best. So thank you for being brave and asking for that.
I'm a little excited. So I just want to nail it because I've got some really good things to say. So I'll catch up with you and we can record it at another time, or I can give it to you on paper, whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you, Kelly. So
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I think that just leaves Marina. Oh, and Marianne, but I don't see Marianne anymore. Are you here? Yeah, you are. Okay, there was just 2 of you. So Marianne and Marina. I'm guessing last.
I feel the same as Kelly. I'm in this, but I'm debating if I want to, just because I'm all about risk the last year, do I just do it off the cuff or do I want to do it better? But
you don't have to be better. You don't have to be Virgo perfect.
Yes, I do. Because that's the whole beauty of this.
Yeah, I know.
I have to be true to my essence.
You do. Marianne, would you like to go as Marina thinks about whether she's going to go?
Sure. Yeah, I want Marianne. I'm fine. So yes, my name is Marianne, and I am I guess this is an irony, I'm a former teacher, but essentially I think I am a teacher no matter what I try to do. I've always wanted to be a healthy person, and always wanted to improve myself. So essentially, astrology has been important to me for a long time. I always wanted to understand why am I the way I am? Why is my life the way it is? And I was always looking to astrology to give me some kind of hope, because life was a roller coaster for a long time. And anyway, so from that perspective, I also have a keen interest in learning. So that's part of who I am. So getting into this class is just more of an affirmation, again, as Ali said, a combination of different modalities, different things that I've looked at or learned, and realizing, again, everything is cycles. Um, the calendar does affect us. Um, I guess the other gifts, you find the other gifts that you have that maybe you haven't focused on before. So for me, I've become strongly aware that I'm an empath. So astrology to me also lets me know, okay, there's a full moon, how do I feel this? Or there's a new moon, oh, I really feel this. Or any changes that happen, I feel them. So if anything, I guess that reaffirms how everything works together. So I'm very thankful that Stan and Alana, that you both persevered. And it was challenging. I mean, right in the middle of COVID and how we were all feeling. We were all feeling uh, restricted or held back or a lack of freedom. So I guess in an interesting way, this course provided freedom at a moment when we really didn't have it. So, and moved beyond those restrictions. So again, the use of our minds and um, and our souls and our hearts and how we could support each other and move forward in our goals. So, and you are that. So you are our guides and our guardians, I guess. So, and not being judgmental. Thank you. Ideal students, I think anybody who has an interest to learn in any way. So to learn about yourself, to learn about how the year may turn out for people, or if you're struggling with something. So basically, it's a way to help you get through it. Would I like to do another course? Yes. Did I like to, I liked how the progressively things became more explanatory through the slides. That became very beneficial, but obviously that was a learning curve. So I think it was a good way to progress in all areas. So I just see the charts going round and round and round. So we continue to go round and learn more. So I think that's it.
Thank you very, very much, Marianne. Yeah, and definitely the non-judgmental thing, like we can get triggered. We're human too. But because we can see the charts and we can see, oh, that's where that's coming from, or this, like that's one of the beauties of understanding astrology is, yeah, okay, you triggered me on one of my things, or it's coming from there. So thank you. And we do have a topic on empaths coming up. So yay. Okay. Marina, what did you decide?
Sure, I'll go for it.
Yay. Okay, let me just make you front and center.
I love it. Go.
There you go.
Thank you. So my name's Marina. I am a radical forgiveness coach, and how I plan to use astrology is by taking a snapshot of my clients and connecting that to them on their soul's level. So I'm curious about what their soul's evolution is and how it relates to astrology. What I gained. So I've had a knowledge of astrology for about 30 years. And I was able to take it to a deeper level and connect some of the dots, and also see how it's playing out in my life currently, which is what I couldn't do previously. So that was really great. Stan and Alana are amazing teachers. They complement each other well. Stan brings this knowledge. Alana brings this, beautiful way of allowing us to ask great questions and dig a little deeper, which I really enjoy. And the number one thing for me that I really enjoyed was the resources. They're amazing, super dynamic, super detailed. And I also really enjoyed the class environment overall. There were opportunities for everyone to share, everyone to connect, and just embracing who we all are as individuals. An ideal student would be somebody who's interested in learning in many different levels and just willing to do the work, I would say, because you can't just come and expect to know everything about astrology in a few classes. So wanting to take that next step and your own journey and how you want to use it in your own life. And just any additional thoughts? I'm just excited to see how you guys are going to unfold over the next few years and how it's going to evolve with the growth that you learn from each and every class.
Thank you so much, Marina. And I agree with that class environment thing. Like, some of you have been very silent for the whole class, and then we look at your chart and I pull you out and I put you on stage and have you actually answer what Stan can see. And then we get to know you guys. And it's so amazing to see, like, it's not just a chart, it's a person. And I love the line that Stan uses, it's poetry in motion. Like, when you see someone actually living their chart, it's like, it's absolutely amazing how beautiful our lives are and how much we can actually honor everybody if we just took the time to look at why they're struggling, why they're acting that way. So thank you. Stan, did you want to say anything to all these lovely words that have been said about your course? I'll see if I can get you front and center. I think you have to talk, Stan, and then you'll claim them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because my mic is unmuted. So, yeah, I've been kind of, thinking. Well, you know me well. I don't know about the rest of the class, but so it's different with me. Sometimes I can be spontaneous, and I can, come up with a lot of different comments. I mean, a great thank you to everyone, of course. The way it works with me, I guess it's, I like to kind of digest a lot of stuff that comes in. I like to sort of sift through it and think about it. So I'm sure a lot of additional insights and comments and, moments of just being grateful will come to me. But I think, a couple of things I wanted to say. I think it's been a journey for all of us. I mean, it's, for the class, I would think, the idea of learning, and I appreciate the fact that the group has come in, into this virtual environment with different levels, different expectations, different understanding. So the idea was to bring everyone kind of to, ground zero and start from there. So, for me, it was the idea, I guess, of not only, I mean, on one hand, creating the content and moving it onto the digital virtual platform, but also learning to kind of collaborate, to cooperate, to work with you as a group. And that was a greatly rewarding and enriching experience. I guess my thanks go to Alana first and foremost for, being a great, co-teacher, co-facilitator. She's done an amazing job. And yes, I would say, because I think also from the fact that, we've been working together for a good couple of years. And I think she has an ability to translate from Stan speak, to something that you can directly relate to. Because I get caught with situations where I'm thinking, well, it makes a lot of sense to me. That's how I always viewed that. And in one-on-one readings, sometimes client can ask that question. In a group environment, sometimes people can be a little too slow or shy, or they don't want to interrupt. So I appreciate that. It goes without saying that this course, it's not that it would not have happened, but there would be more struggles, more stumbling blocks, more obstacles, more hiccups if it wasn't for Alana. So this is really, really, truly great. And we do quite a bit of work kind of behind the scenes. We chat, we email, we agree on where are we going with the class in the next couple of months or next 6 months. So this is great, but also many thanks to everyone, all of you who persevered. We may have a couple of people absent here, but I'm sure they're gonna use the recordings and other resources. And I'm grateful also for the testimonials, for the a lot of kind, great comments. I hope you, I hope you learned, a good deal, and I hope that was, helpful and meaningful to you. But I also hope that learning astrology and kind of, moving forward, you will look at yourself and you will look at people around you in a different light, from a different perspective. So that's one thing. Just wanted also to mention, thanking Kimberly again for being the first one with testimonial, but also recognizing the fact that, Kimberly was the persistent kind, one of the few students who emailed me with questions and really kind of stretched some of the aspects of the presentation. So indirectly, I guess we can thank him also, and I can thank him for, saying things like, well, this doesn't really make sense to me. Can you make it, can you change it? Can you make it, look more simple or and so some of the things that I presented in the class are part of my interaction with Kimberly, part of her wanting to gain more understanding, and me presenting it in a way that was perhaps easier to grasp by many, because my natural go-to would be, well, that's how I see it, how I view it, and over and above that, I would expect, well, not expect, I would welcome that from all of you. I mean, if there's there's an aspect of any of the classes, if something is unclear, there's nothing wrong with saying, Stan, I have no idea what you're talking about, or can you make the graphic in a different way? Can you turn it on its head, or flip it, or make a mirror image? I will try if I can. I mean, it's not that it's impossible. As I may have mentioned a couple of times, I'm trying to teach you astrology the way I was taught, but trying also to bring it into the 21st century. So giving you some updates, giving you some ideas, and beyond that, I'd like to encourage you to keep going, to keep trying. Perhaps maybe not so much diving deep into internet and doing research. I mean, there are a few sites that I would recommend, but continue learning through practice. Do a couple of charts, look at them, get frustrated, get mad. I mean, and you're welcome to say, I think Stan is full of crap. This does not add up, this does not compute. And then, in that moment of frustration, call me, email me, we'll try to work on it together. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the testimonials, from everything that you shared today. And looking forward to working with all of you in, on level 3 or however our classes are going to unfold. I believe Alana may speak to that very soon. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of the utterly amazing and unusual, unbelievably crazy 2020, which is about to close its doors. And, I'm sure we're all looking forward to 2021 as different year, a better year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stan. And just in the beginning, when you were saying how you need to digest and think about it, that's actually a topic that will come up in level 3, which is the more stars, and how we're different. Some of us can respond right away, and some of us really want to digest and come back with something. And some of us are going to hold on to, oh, I shouldn't have said that forever. And some of us are going to be like, forget it. So that's one thing. I also wanted to mention that also Marina was really great in saying, you know, you can improve this here, just like the really technical things, like this would be better, it should be a manual and stuff like that. So we did receive that support from our students. And Ali is about to do an Astro chat with us. Kelly has done an Astro chat with us. And what these are, they're videos which are embedded in articles to help people see real life examples, which we felt was something that was missing from the classes. And Kelly has also held some, what are they called? I'm losing the word, but like practice sessions in her grounding sanctuary for us. And so even though you guys have been our students and we've been teaching or whatever, you have contributed just as much to this group. And so thank you. And I love that you said that there's nothing, like anybody can say, I need this, like this is not making sense and I need this, whether it's during the class or a long time later. So this is part of the integrity of learning with us is, you know, we're people, you're people, we come together, we transfer information in the way that works for you. So I'll move on to the next slides and I'll go through them quickly because we're at time. Let me just get everybody up so I can see you all. Is there any questions before I go through the next few slides?
I just wanted to say a thank you to everyone. Just for sharing parts of your story, for being vulnerable, for being brave. I had a wonderful time with all of you, and I just wanted to send that gratitude forward. So thank you, everyone.
Okay. So you guys already have these slides, which I've sent to you, and I actually did a little edit, so I'll send you a new version. Or not if you don't need it. So basically, Stan went through what was in level 1 and what was in level 2, and created a whole bunch of points that he would have loved to have shared with you, but there just wasn't time. So level 3 will comprise of the missing things from level 1, the missing things from level 2, any additional topics, and then also lots of practicing and you showing us what you know and us stretching you a little bit further. And then we're going to have another component, which is healing, which will be for students and non-students to come in. So we've structured certain topics that, and I'll show them to you and give you some examples if need be, where, you know, we'll have a group of 4 who have their charts up, and for 2 hours, we're going to talk about that topic. So you'll understand more as I get through them, but I'll just show you. So these are the topics Stan would have liked to have touched on in level 1. Did you want to speak to them, Stan, or just that they're up there and to know that when we come to level 3, it's always going to be a group decision. Like, we will say as a group, I really need to do those out of planet class now because it's present for me now, and we will build that class for you then. And then maybe it's something from level 2 that comes up. Like you may be like, I need to do the progression of the moon through the houses. It's just, that's what's important to me now. And as a group, we do that. So did you want to speak to it at all, Stan?
No, I think it's good enough if we go through the slides, and okay. You know, if again, people can always you know, comment or ask questions by, you know, by email or even on Slack, whatever. But yeah, I guess generally we're looking at it to become a little bit more of a group effort. Right? So we're not necessarily looking for people to come up with 100% of the content, but just things, you know, topics of interest that are sort of more personal. And you know, someone might be more interested in knowing what, you know, more details about Mercury. Some people may be more interested in, well, you know, Neptune is aspecting my Venus. You know, what's it all about? And we'll definitely look at that.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what this slide kind of touches on, is level 3 is not going to be the same as level 1 and 2, where Stan created all of the content and shared what he knew. It's going to be, okay, we're going to talk about Black Moon Lilith. Everybody go and find what you know or figure out your questions, send it to Stan. He'll pull it together and say, okay, this stuff is questionable. This stuff is solid. This stuff is actually more Venus. This is actually more this, and really give us good direction on everything that's out there. on top of, you know, he may pull in a few books that he has on whatever the topic may be. He's got a book on the asteroid goddesses. So, you know, maybe there's stuff in there that's more solid than the stuff we read on the internet. So it's really helping you see these topics from the same grounded perspective, but we build the class together because he doesn't know what you've read and what you assume. And it just serves to do it this way. So those are the classes. He already has a detailed review of the transit and progressions, just like when we started level 2, there was a whole class on let's review this all. So we're gonna all start on the same solid ground with more real life examples. And then these are some other topics that I would like to pull in. So looking at the I Ching, human design, gene keys, tarot, soul contract, the body, the evolution of our life experience, how conflicts repeat themselves and build our ego, our emotion, our health, and also bringing in Chinese medicine. And all of this relates to astrology. So that doesn't mean we have to teach these topics, but if there's somebody who's like, I really want to know how TCM and astrology link, or how I Ching or how human design, that's something that is on the table if it's of interest to you. This point here, we want to make sure that you guys can do level 1 and 2 on your own before we start giving you more information. So that's why I'd say no new topics will be taught until you show sufficient mastery. And what that means is coming to a practice session, read what you can, and then we'll say, okay, and don't forget about this, and don't forget about that. And so I talk more about it on the next slide. As well, the level 3 topics, you don't have to join level 3, all of level 3. You can join the topics that interest you. So, but in order to join any of those topics, we still need to know you've mastered level 1 and 2. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so this is money stuff. You guys have it on your slides, but basically any class where Stan is doing slide preparation in advance, 2.5 hours, full class size is $60. Any practice where it's just you coming with your charts and you doing whatever, we're going to reduce the class size to 2 to 4 students so that you guys get sufficient time. So it's less expensive, because I know most people don't like to pay to practice, but we need to see how much you know before we add more. And those will be about 2 hours long. And then, so the first commitment would be $60 for the review class, and then at least 2 practice sessions. And one way I envision you could use this practice sessions is, 1, come and show us what you know and see how much you need to stretch. Then go study with each other so you save money, and then come back and show us what you know. And hopefully that's enough. But some people just like to keep practicing with us, and then you can add more $40 sessions, whatever works for you. And then the ongoing commitment would be for each level 3 class. Again, it's the $60 and then a $40 practice session to show us that you actually learned the material. Does that make sense? Okay. We are allowing you guys to retake either level 1 or level 2 whenever it's offered at half the price. So 180 instead of 360. We can still do sliding scale and, you know, split payments and all that stuff, because it's, you know, it's about transmitting the information more than the money. Just so you know, we're going to make sure there's at least 6 new students who are paying full price and max 4 repeating, just so that's sustainable for us. And I just put this pricing in here because I have a lot of clients finding me from the US, so I just want them to see the US pricing for regular level 1 and 2. And then this is the healing sessions I was talking about. So basically using astrology to heal and free ourselves, to be honest, whatever that may be. And so Stan says there's a basic model for this. It's basically you identify the planet that is being afflicted right now. What is its house? What is its sign? How is it being afflicted? And how can you return that planet to its house and to its sign? And so it's very simple, but everybody's problem is different. So you guys don't have to join any of these healing sessions, but it may serve you too, because then you can see, you know, for example, this one here, is it on this slide? Let's skip to the next slide. There's one about kids here. So the school has a curriculum, right, for our kids, but that curriculum is not suited for some kids or some people. Life curriculum is not suited for some people. So if that's that person's issue, we would teach or look at the astrology chart to that level, like where is their whatever planet, where is their whatever. And so they can start to build their own curriculum based on, you know, Saturn is your teacher. The public school board is not your teacher. Your boss is not your teacher. Oh, sometimes he's Saturn, but Do you know what I mean? And so like this topic has shown a lot of interest, this transmuting from earth to air, and we hopefully will release an article about that soon. And that's all about letting go of the old way of living, because it's gone, it's going. And if you don't know how to let go of it, you're going to be having a hard time really soon. So this is all about calming people's fears and viva la revolution, but from a safer vantage point, because you know that's all changing, and you know how you can be okay if the government is gone, if the bank is gone, if school is gone. How are you going to be okay anyways? So yeah, so these are all the topics. I don't need to go through any of them unless there's any questions. And before I turn it to you guys for questions, we're offering you guys, if you come to a healing session and you bring a friend, you get $20 off. And if your friend decides to join level 1, the full thing, half of what they pay, the $60, will go towards level 1. So they'll get level 1 instead of $360, they get it for $330. So that way there's a win-win for everybody. It's like, come in, try. If you get the bug and you want to learn astrology, great. And if you don't, that's fine. Like, we're quite happy to work with people however they want. And this, again, is going to be one topic per session. Someone thought we would teach all of these in one session, which is crazy. And max 4 people, because we want your chart to be up. And when I say your chart, if you're coming in to look at your child, it would be your child's chart is up. So that always we're looking at these 4 charts and how are they different, and you find love for yourself even by looking at somebody else's chart. So are there any questions, any of these topics somebody's like, I don't know what you're talking about?
I have, like, yeah, Marina, I agree. I love the concept. So would this be something that's revolving, or would you know in advance, or are you just going to base on interest? So say, because I'm like right away, I'm like, ooh, I love the Kundalini one. I'm like, ooh, I love the spiritual, what your body's telling you. Would it be just you're going to base it on interest and then pull it up?
Yes, exactly. So
hear me?
these
Oh,
healing topics are not tied to you having shown mastery. So let's say, ooh, I really want to do Kundalini. As long as we have maybe 2 to 4 students, because max 4 students, right, who want it, we'll build it. And so these topics will evolve. And that's actually, brought me to a good point right here. Our LinkedIn page, let me see, I have it in the background. The LinkedIn page. So I would love for you guys to follow us on this LinkedIn page, because this is where I'm sharing the topics. So Kundalini Rising is already sitting there as an offering that, you know, it's real, and understanding your astrology, human design, blah, 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 can help so that you don't destroy your life. So that topic is already there waiting for people who want it. And as soon as we have 4 people who want it, or 2 people, or whatever the magic number is that tells us we're willing to build it, it will be built. And then we'll use the same structure, but it's always going to be different, because it's the same, it's going to be 4 different charts up there. So you could take the, if that is like your area of interest forever, you could keep taking that and seeing different Kundalini risings, or maybe bring in your husband's Kundalini rising or whatever, you know, bring a different chart and see a different angle. So that's the one thing. Any other questions? So here you see there's any other requests. So you guys can message me anytime and go, this is a thing I'm dealing with. Can we create a thing about it? And if I talk to Stan and he says, yeah, we can do that, then we can do that. Also, I just want to encourage you guys who are trying to get your businesses off the ground. Marina always says that's one of my fortes, is helping people get their business off the ground and, you know, do their strategy and their confidence. So I'm not trying to gain clients out of this, but I did want to put this here because if anybody is struggling with, okay, now I know astrology, but how do I convert that to something of value? Reach out. And I also wanted to share that Kelly runs the Grounding Sanctuary. Right now it's hidden under my website, but I'll show you the link for that. So here is my business page, and you can see business confidence, business marketing, business strategy, business focus is all there on yourlifeplan.ca. And then I think it's this one. So this is Kelly's Grounding Sanctuary, and she's doing a really beautiful job of just holding space for whoever shows up. And the last few weeks have been just so healing, like helping people through whatever it is. And there's no cost right now. It's just show up, and whoever is there shares their perspective, and we all learn. So it's beautiful. And that, I believe, is it, unless there's questions. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing then so we can see each other. Kind of hard to say goodbye, eh?
Just see you later.
See you in 2021. But you can always reach out to us. Slack is there. We have emails. Follow us on LinkedIn while I post quirky things all the time.
Sorry, when is the goal to launch level 3?
Whenever you guys are ready and Stan has the time and the energy. I'm guessing nothing's going to happen until 2021. Stan, maybe you want to speak to that?
Yeah, it may take some time, and I guess, you know, we're probably gonna review, you know, where we are, where everyone is, and also would probably like to go through at least a couple of practice sessions, and then see, you know, where we sit with all that, and you know what, because I think we kind of know the content, but it's just it's still a bit of a discussion left on the format, and you know, how much, you know, what percentage of the class or that group interaction is going to be slides, what percentage is going to be, you know, questions, examples, and that sort of thing. So we're going to try to make it a little bit more interactive, probably, actually a lot more interactive, but perhaps, you know, and if there's interest to just work on, you know, individual charts, we can do that as well, and kind of go through, you know, with one by one, and again, based on the amount of time, because as I went through level 2, you know, I can build each and every class with, you know, up to 20 slides, but, you know, some days we may get through 18 to 20, some days we'll only get through 10 to 12. It's just all about a speed, so we kind of have to adjust it and you know, go at a speed that's comfortable for everyone. And, you know, there's more questions, more comments, more concerns, that's gonna slow us down, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So 2021, I'm guessing early, but how early? We'll need to get through the tail end of the year, and maybe into January, to kind of figure out where we are.
And that's how level 1 retaking it will be different, because, you know, we had a view of what level 1 would be, and it turned into something. And the next group may be more in another direction, and we want to cater to the group. And so if you're in that group and you're like, okay, I really want to go more this way, or I still have these questions. Yeah, that's why it's of value. Like, I've learned tons taking level 1 and level 2 with you guys, and I've been studying this for years. And I'm sure Stan actually has learned some stuff too, and he's been studying for 26 years. So it never hurts to go back to the basics again and again, as much as you want to. Okay.
So many options. Like it's amazing. Like it's awesome. And I love that, you know, there are those options which keep it open. This allows everyone an opportunity to sort of determine, you know, what best aligns for them. So it's magnificent. Like,
and something I wanted to speak to as well early on, and Stan kind of agreed with this too, I think. When you're starting a modality, you don't want anybody else to learn it because you want it to be yours. But, well, some people are like that. But if you bring your friends to see an astrology thing and they get interested in astrology, and then you guys start talking astrology, your knowledge is going to grow because you've got a best buddy who also is interested, and they're going to find a whole new rabbit hole to get into, different from your rabbit hole. They're going to attract different clients. So I don't know if I ever need to share that with you, but bringing your friends to astrology is not so that we make more money. It's so that you have a friend who loves astrology just as much as you do, and who you can call and go, oh my God, my whatever is aspecting my whatever. And they're like, I know, and I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like, bring them into your language. And so that's what it's about, more than we want more money. So I just want you guys to know that.
We never think that about you, Alana.
I know, but you always think that.
And you're the queen of giving options and flexibility in terms of what Ali was just speaking about. So, you know, sometimes I'm like, no, I want it simple and structured, but it's so beautiful that you accommodate everybody. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add that I think listening to Stan today and looking at the thematic approach, and that's the way to go, because people understand themes more as opposed to in some cases, some things sound very abstract because, oh, it's this many degrees and this is here and that's there and this is in conjunction with that. So we made a progression today as opposed to going retrograde. Yay!
Yeah. And I want people to see that astrology can solve real life problems, like real crises. You can actually call an astrologer and say, I'm stuck, and they can guide you out. And people don't realize that. They think it's just some flaky little silly thing that only stupid people believe. And it's not. And I saw someone say that astrology was the old form of astronomy. And I'm like, no, astrology is psychology. It is so psychology. It's developmental psychology. It's not astronomy by any stretch. And actually, this is a side thing, but going to the planetarium makes me so sick because the way they look at the planets in such a cold way, it really bothers me. So scientific and clean. And I'm like, no, it's not to me. But
And now is the time. People are more open. It's the right time to launch this, you guys. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
perfect. Yeah.
Age of Aquarius. Come on. Here we go.
all right, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. And if December gets really out there for you and you need someone to talk to, come on out and see us at the Grounding Sanctuary.
Absolutely. Can you just remind us of your new hours? Because I have your old ones in my phone.
Yep, I'll send them off to you.
Thank you.
I'll announce them. Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. Little Miss trying to hide and not have anybody ask.
It's in my chart.
Yeah. So if you go to groundingsanctuary.ca, the calendar is up. The link is always there, but in order to get the password, you'll have to email Kelly just so that we don't get bombarded with random things. So groundingsanctuary.ca, you see the schedule. You're like holding your breath here.
I am.
So
This is
Wednesday,
why I do this.
4:30 p.m. tends to be the busier time when a lot of us come in with all our problems. And Saturday mornings when we're not in astrology class, that tends to be I'm having a cup of coffee and we're having a more relaxed chat.
So I work until 5. So am I invited to join late or no?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. You don't have to stay the full 2 hours. You don't have to show up on time, but it is nice, I think, Kelly, if people say I'm coming at 5 so that Kelly doesn't shut the doors at 4:59 and then there you are. So yeah. And men are welcome too, not just women. So yeah. Thank you, Kelly.
Take
Okay.
good care of yourselves, everyone.
Have a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah. You too, everyone.
Take care. Here's to 2021. Cheers.
Very much.
I know.
Cheers.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.